That's finally the connection. So people cannot read, yes, but if somebody reads it for them, they can tell you what it means, which is very important.
Does it start here and go up, or does it?
No, the text of the Mayas, they all start at the top and they end at the bottom. Like this exactly same way we do, from left to right. Exactly the same way we write. Exactly the same way we read. Right? They use columns. Well, there were two columns of hieroglyphics. This is the bottom, by the way. You start here, and then you jump to the other. You follow this. You read on pairs, and then you continue with the next pairs of columns. Right? Here, 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 here. That is the way that the Mayas wrote. So this, obviously, to know all this took decades. Right? People at the very beginning came and they were fascinated by this, but they didn't know what it said. So that's why the speculations came out. Right? So hieroglyphics that are written in here contain the history of royal family Copan. Modern decipherment has revealed this is a compilation of those greatest days in the life of all the kings of Copan since the foundation house, or the establishment of the dynasty, until the inauguration of the individual depicted here, which is the 15th. What the 15th king here is doing is that he celebrates his inauguration, but he uses the history of his family as the credentials presented to the crowd, trying to restore the honor of the family. Right? He uses the prestige of every ancestor to consolidate power in public this time. And this is apparently necessary after the execution of 18 art images of God. This comes as a monument in public trying to revive royal family. It's the biggest example of propaganda ever. It contains 2,500 hieroglyphics. Right? It's distributed on 64 steps, and centerpieces are depictions of the predecessors of the king. One of them missing. You see the gap there in the center. One step is missing. Those were given by the government of Honduras to the Peabody Museum in Cambridge, Massachusetts. There was an agreement that permitted Peabody Museum to take away certain sculptures to the museum, their museum in the United States, like a kind of retribution for the expenses they made in the excavation process. We are so lucky that Copan art is monumental. So moving a stone carving like this was almost impossible, because the first paved road to come to Copan also was made in 1982. So imagine that back in the 1910, 1920, to take something like this, it was simply impossible. So most of the art was left behind. Just a very few pieces that were dismantled, like the step and this carving over there, those were taken away in mules, poor mules, had to transport those heavy stones. So the description that we see here is all scrambled. The problem was that when the first archaeologists came of Peabody Museum, they found the first 15 steps in their original place. The rest of the steps, being so steep, had collapsed in a big gog pile over here, and nobody knew how to put them in order. Nobody knew how to read the glyphs anyway, so they